Gravity's so simple, it's too easy to explain. I'm going to explain this in probably less than 5 minutes. Okay, you got the sun at it and it's spinning left. The sun's always going to be spinning left. This is like creating a magnet. This is like creating negative and positive. Negative spins left, positive spins right. That's how electrons and photons work. When you got two balls, they interact with each other. Before I show you any more of this, I'm going to show you how two balls interact with each other. One spinning left, one spinning right. And this is the exact same magnetic fields work. One spins right, one spins left, and they follow suit with each other. Now that you know that, without gravity, they couldn't orbit. They would just spin abruptly, really fast. But before we get into gravity, let's get into magnetic fields. The sun spins left, therefore its magnetic field is left. So we got the sun right here, magnetic field 1 right here, magnetic field 3 right here, and it's spinning this way. The magnetic fields. And then you got the magnetic field of Mercury spinning opposite because it rolls with the sun. And then you got, and this works kind of like gears, and then you got the Earth spinning the opposite because it rolls with the sun. And then you got the moon spinning the opposite of the Earth because it rolls with the Earth. Now explaining gravity and orbits. If you can get that in your head, I'm going to give you a second to look at this. One spins left, the other spins right. Alright, and I come up with an equation for it, but I'll tell you that equation in a second. Now, gravity. Gravity. It has to do with mass, and it has to do with closeness. So when you get an object that wants to push towards another object, it tends to start rolling, and it rolls on that object. So it'll roll around on the same object over and over and over again, and that causes it to orbit, and like as you see. And that's funny how the orbits follow the spin of the sun. When its spin is opposite. Same thing with Earth. The Earth's spin is opposite, but its orbit follows the orbit of the sun. Remember, the Earth spins this way, yet it orbits this way. No, the Earth spins this way, yet it orbits the opposite of its spin. So that works out just fine. That explanation works out just fine. So the Earth is opposite. It spins opposite of the sun because of its magnetic field. But because of gravity, it orbits, and the magnetic field counteracts gravity. That's where my equation came from. The magnetic field destroys gravity, but not completely, in the way that it makes it orbit. The orbit is the counteraction of the magnetic field with gravity. So you get a spin, and this ball basically rolls around the sun because of the sun's magnetic field pushing the Earth, and it gets an orbit. Same thing with the moon. The moon wants to get on the Earth, so the moon follows suit with the Earth and goes around the Earth. And you know that happens. That happens in science. You see the moon orbiting opposite of the Earth that orbits with the sun. That actually happens in real science. So that is actually plausible. So the moon orbits with the Earth. The Earth orbits with the sun. And I instead of going into quantum mechanics, I just did a regular physics formula. This could go deeper into quantum mechanics, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to confuse you. So we understand this, that every spin is opposite of the other spin. So, and the counteraction is orbit. You got that? The counteraction is orbit. So the sun spins left, the orbit's going to be left, but the counteraction is going to be right. That's how it kills gravity. So something does like this yay big doesn't go into something yay big and gets destroyed. You understand? Otherwise, without the magnetic fields, all the all the planets would be destroyed. Same thing with black holes. Without magnetic fields, all the black holes would eat up all the things in the galaxy. Well, you get to moons, and the moon counteracts the Earth's gravity by spinning left, and it follows suit with the Earth's magnetic field, which is opposite of the sun's. But ironically, the moon's orbit is the same as the sun's orbit. It's following suit with the sun in the same orbit, but it's following suit with the Earth's magnetic field, which is the opposite of the sun. Do you understand that? It works the same way how you put two gears together. If you put one gear, it's more explainable when you use gears, because you get one gear. I'm not going to draw a perfect gear here. Obviously, this is an ugly looking gear. You get another gear. Now, whatever weird gears, right? You get one gear. One gear goes this way. The other gear is going to go the opposite way. This gear starts to turn left. This gear is going to want to go this way. You get one gear going left, you get another gear going right. And that's exactly how magnetic fields work. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. Now I'll explain the equation in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. Just give me a second. Can I erase the marker board? The equation, when you get that, is the equation is obvious. It's gravity, because gravity's smaller, over magnetic field times mass. So times mass. Well, we're going to use magnetic waves. Times mass equals orbit. Gravity over magnetic waves times mass equals orbit. And that's the equation. That's why things further away get slower. And because of its bigness, again, you get that magnetic waves. Because of its size, like Jupiter. That's why it goes 30,000 miles an hour. Because Jupiter's size, again, that has to do with mass, times mass. And because it has big mass, it gets big gravity. Big waves, big magnetic waves, causes the waves to go exceed Earth's magnetic waves. And it goes faster and faster and faster because it's a bigger wheel than Earth. It's a much bigger wheel than Earth. You don't want things to interlock. And that's what magnetic fields do. Essentially is they interlock with each other. One goes left, one goes right. And they interlock with each other like that. And in quantum mechanics, this is called interference. But we won't get into interference. I just wanted to show you how gravity works. And that's easy. The reason why I wanted to show you this is I was seeing people that are like, man, how does gravity work? What does it do? I mean, how to explain gravity? One guy said, oh, it's pressure. And that's generally not a bad idea, except space has no pressure. The way you explain it is with magnetic fields. That's the only thing Einstein was missing, was magnetic fields. And that's the reason why all the balls went to the center, was because they didn't have a magnetic field. If they had a magnetic field, they would have all had a perfect orbit like we do right now. Praise Yahweh, and like and subscribe.